Hello and welcome to WashingtonExec's video series. I'm your host, Amanda Ziadeh, and with me today is Vincent DiFronzo. He's Senior Vice President of Air Force and DoD Agency's Business Unit with SAIC. Thanks so much for joining me today, Vinny.
Hey, thanks for having me, Amanda.
Of course. So we're here to talk about an organization that means a lot to you and essentially helps provide homes for deserving veterans. I want to start by asking, Vinny, if you can tell us a bit about the mission behind building homes for heroes and why this particular cause is so important to you.
Yeah, this is a great nonprofit organization. They provide mortgage-free homes to disabled veterans and sometimes Gold Star families, whose veteran member has passed away, this is really great what they do for the veterans. They've provided about 225 homes to date, and they're on target to do 300 homes this year. So fairly aggressive. But this is really life-changing for the veterans because having a mortgage-free home, typically they're in a somewhat stressed financial scenario, after coming back, going through intensive recovery, and most have families, and getting to a mortgage-free home, good, in a good community, supportive community, really it reduces or eliminates most of the financial stress. It gives a good foundation, both for the veteran and for the families. So it's really a great, it's a great program overall.
So what attracted SAIC to building homes for heroes?
So I think in part, it's their core mission itself is helping out these veterans that need help. They also have a great, very efficient business model. Andy Pujol is the CEO and president. He was a 9/11 survivor at the Twin Towers, helped many of the responders, the first responders. And then out of that, he came up with this vision as he saw what was transpiring for helping out the veterans that he knew. He knew this was going to be, a long engagement afterwards with a lot of veterans that would need help. He's a businessman, and he set up relationships with other companies that really allowed a lot of donations. Specifically, Chase Bank actually provides the homes themselves are typically foreclosures, right? But they're foreclosures that are in good shape, in good neighborhoods. And then he works with other companies for whatever needs to be done with the house itself, and either getting discounted rates or it's donated, right? So it really brings the cost of the homes down from the nonprofit itself, that's what's allowed him to, do 225 homes so far, and they're targeting to get to 300 this year, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, it's a great model, and frankly a great story of patriotism with the leader having been inspired by the tragic event, and being committed to this for the entire time. And I just also mentioned, after the homes are gifted, they still keep a very close relationship, and there's a bit of a network with these veterans where they all help each other in their journey forward in life. So it's really a great nonprofit.
So what is the extent of your involvement with the organization, or SAIC's partnership with the organization, and what are some of the projects that you've been involved with?
Yes, so our involvement to date, so we actually inherited this relationship when we bought Engility. Engility had been working with them for several years, so we have built on that. Over the last 2 years since we bought Engility, we've had, we're not part of every house that's provided to one of their veterans. We work with selective ones in selective areas where we sort of have employees there and an interest in that area. So we've worked with three so far. You know, it was an ex-Navy SEAL down in the Virginia Beach area, in the Pax River area, Southern Maryland. We helped gifted a home to a Navy corpsman, and then most recently, right before the New Year's, down in Tampa, an Air Force Special Ops major and his family. And those are they're great events, because, you know, what happens is, you know, we go in and help with the final touches on the home to make it really, you know, ready for them to move in, working with Better Homes for Heroes. And then the event itself is great. So you sort of have a teamwork thing with the employees, right? That's really sort of it really helps build camaraderie. And for the event itself, you know, it's one of those events that it really feels great because you've got the family there, you've got the dedication to the home. Typically, they'll be escorted in by local police, firemen, and then you'll have other civic organizations, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, you know, church organizations that are associated with it as well. So it's like a little parade that comes in. We go through a bit of a few comments and you know, sort of a formal presentation, and then walking them through the house, ultimately handing off the house to them. But it's a great community event. A lot of times you get press that comes in as well, and it's a good way to, you know, give back and be able to do something, you know, both for the veteran, really reinforce the relationships with the community as well. So
yeah. I can imagine being there in person would be amazing.
Yeah.
So I want to ask why it's important to you then to couple your professional career with, you know, volunteer work, especially with building Homes for Heroes.
Yeah, it's really unique because, you know, personally, I'm a veteran, right? I did 27 years in the Air Force, and different times in my career, I've dealt with the process from people being injured, getting them out of theater. You know, there's been a couple of times where I've seen sort of close up what happens from a hospital standpoint, what they go through there, what the families go through, and it's unbelievable what they have to work through, the challenges that they have to work through. So to be able to help them really get settled in, you know, and have a launch place for their future and their family's future is personally just, you know, really personally satisfying, right? For the company, you know, first the employees, 25% of our employees are veterans. When you account for how many spouses, you know, it's of veterans, it's even more significant. So the military, the veteran population is very important to our employees. And it goes back to what I referenced earlier. You know, it's a great opportunity for camaraderie, just to get out of the workplace, work together to do something for somebody else that's very deserving and really help change their life. From a business standpoint, you know, there are probably some clear benefits from the standpoint of when we do that kind of work, when the company's seen doing that kind of work with the community. You know, it helps people stay in the company, helps with retention, probably helps with retiring, and it's positive for the company's image as well. But I think the most important thing is what it does for the employees to make them feel part of something that's bigger.
Absolutely. And of course, lots of people in this industry in particular are veterans and share that background. So how can others get involved, other colleagues or, you know, other members of this community if they're interested?
Yeah, so the easiest thing to do is go to buildinghomesforheroes.com. They've got a great website. It sort of explains everything from, you know, just making donations, which I highly encourage, to how to get more directly involved with the process. And then in addition, follow SAIC on social media. Whenever we're involved with, one of the offerings of the homes, we advertise beforehand. We're always happy to have, more people pitching in and helping out.
Wonderful. Well, we'll absolutely include that link below. And thank you so much, Vinny, for joining me and sharing more about this really important organization. I appreciate your time.
Okay, great.